How's everybody doing? Let me get Matt in here. I don't know why there's an echo. Something. Okay, I
What's
fixed the echo. What's up, Matt? How you doing, man?
doing good, Win? How are you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Thank you everybody for being in the chat already. I appreciate y'all. We got some good topics to talk about today. We're gonna talk about some Sound of Freedom. Matt just got finished seeing the movie today, so we'll give a little bit a review there, and we'll talk about the backlash from CNN and all the rest of the woke media out there, Washington Post, pretty much all of them that you could think of. And then we'll talk about some Ben and Jerry's, maybe whatever the chat feels like talking about. Y'all can leave us some topics in there, and we'll get to Jay O'Hearn says, "About time you sound like a dang bot." Am I lagging?
No, you sounded right to me. It something happened on mine when you went live and it kicked me out, so that's why I don't know what happened, but
well, yeah. I mean, y'all should be proud of me. This is like one of the first times I've ever been semi on time. I was like 2 minutes late or something. So yeah, but thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. We're also streaming on Rumble if anybody wants to go over there. But we can start off with the let's start off with Matt's semi review. I guess I don't know how in depth you want to go. It's kind of up to you. If you want to do spoilers or not. I guess do no spoilers unless the chat says that they want spoilers. Y'all can let us know. But I guess start off with non spoilers. Just let us know how the movie was, and yeah, what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I'll keep it as non-spoiler as possible. I absolutely recommend everybody go see this film. I think it's a very important movie, and it was really good. I will say this: the first shocking thing is, on my channel I do a lot of movie reviews, and I don't go to everything because I don't like.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, if y'all are here for the Sound of Freedom stuff, Matt's link is in the chat. I'm sure he'll be doing an in-depth review on his channel as well. And if you're like a fan of movies and like the culture war from the movie side of things and pop culture stuff, go check out his channel. It's in the description. His channel is, he branches out sometimes, but it's mostly focused on like movies and TV and stuff like that. So yeah, go ahead, Matt.
No, you're good. I appreciate that. But yeah, so I have been to a couple movies. I try to avoid like Indiana Jones because that, I'm not paying money for that kind of crap, right? But I have to say this I went at 12 o'clock in the afternoon today. It was packed. And I looked at other times throughout the day too to see because I was like, maybe it's an anomaly, right? Maybe all right, maybe it's, and there were a lot of older people in the movie theater, but the 1 o'clock showing was packed. The 2:30 showing, I mean, they were all booked. All of them had seats filled. I haven't seen a movie that busy or that filled since No Way Home. Like when I went and saw No Way Home, it was insane. It wasn't No Way Home levels, but there was a lot of people at the theater in here. Like I said, when I go to the movies now, you're lucky to have a handful of people in there, if that. So, yeah. But overall, the movie was fantastic. Like I said, very eye-opening. Obviously, it's a heavy subject. There are some parts where, they do it respectfully and gracefully, but the concept of what's going on. Seeing the child actors, it's normally a biggest thing that I have when it comes to kids. Like child actors usually aren't that great. Mm-hmm. They did a great job. Like, man, they have you in your feels. And I really thought this movie was going to feel low budget and kind of, that Hallmark, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
It didn't. I mean, the production value was really good. Like I was extremely surprised at how good the movie felt. It's about a 2-hour movie, maybe a little bit over, but it didn't feel like 2 hours. Like it flew by for me. And that's a good thing.
That's honestly a good time. Even if it does feel like 2 hours, at least it's not 3.5, like a lot of movies are nowadays.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest problems I have with a lot of movies is that it just drags on. It's like, oh, what? Like you could see, all right, we could have cut this out. We could have cut that out. There were definitely a couple people in there. I know I see someone's comment says, I'm going to wait till I can watch it at home. I don't want to cry in public. There were definitely a couple people in there. You could hear like the sniffles and the tears because like I said, it's the way the child actors portray the children, seeing obviously some of the acts that are alluded to or taking place, right? It's going to do two things. It's going to either make I can't tell you how many times I shook my head or just got enraged that people do this type of behavior.
Yeah. Well, according to CNN, they don't. It's bogus statistics and
right. This whole movie is a right-wing conspiracy, right? Which is just absurd that anybody would even say that. I mean, again, as I did a video on that too, where you have New York Times specifically talking about this situation years ago. Like they did an article on this and everything that was going on in Colombia. So, because that's where this main thing takes place. There's a couple others too, because like I said, this is a international trafficking is where he kind of goes down this road, and a lot of people who are saying that this is fake. At the end of the movie, again, this is not a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, you know how a lot of movies they'll show you, like for example, one I can think of is like Donnie Brasco. If you've ever seen that, it's like a mafia movie. At
No,
the
I
end,
haven't.
and it's based on a true story, Johnny Depp, right? Al Pacino. But at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, they show you what Donnie Brasco looked like in real life, what the mafia people looked like in real life, and they have like actual mugshots or things from the movie, like, oh, okay, that's how what really happened. Same thing, like they have actual video of some of the raids that they did. They have the main character's real picture in there. You could see him doing these operations, and some of the kids that got rescued, obviously their faces are blurred out, but it's real footage from these busts that they did. So this is real documented stuff. And what's crazy, I don't know if we talked about it, I believe, but I don't know if anyone else in the chat. Most of the chat is pretty well versed in a lot of news. Surprisingly, but this movie's been done for a long time.
Yeah.
It's completed in 2000.
Yeah, people were bringing that up to me. I knew that Disney was like not wanting to put the movie out, but another thing that they were bringing up in my comments today was that The Sound of Freedom was finished, or like they started in 2017 and finished it in 2018, and apparently that's before QAnon even existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like QAnon didn't even exist back in 2018.
No, it wasn't
So,
even a thing at the time.
yeah, I don't know exactly when QAnon came to be, but it wasn't in 2018.
I think that whole thing started to really manifest and bubble up towards after the election, is what I
Wait, the
think. I don't know.
2020 election or
The last one.
Okay.
Last one. Yeah. The one where everything went, south.
Damn, I can't believe that, dude. I can't believe the election was that long ago.
I know. It seems like just yesterday.
Flying by.
But yeah. But like I said, the movie is very impactful. It is definitely something that I recommend. And I don't recommend going to see movies that much anymore in the movie theater, because most movies suck. If anything, I tell you, Sail the Seven Seas, take that for what you will. This movie, it's worth the money. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's worth going and
it's worth supporting that cause, man, especially the way it's getting trashed. And I don't know if if everybody in the chat, I'm sure that you know, but let me bring up what the box office is looking like for this movie, and it's pretty strong. Let's bring this up here. But shout out to Casey, by the way. Thank you for being here. And we got 138 watching, plus some on Rumble. I appreciate all y'all over on Rumble. If y'all can hit the like button, I'd appreciate that a lot. And if y'all want to see, like I said earlier, more in-depth reviews on this movie, I'm sure Matt will be doing a video on it soon. You can go check out his link. It's in the description right now.
I'm on Rumble too. You could find me on there if you prefer Rumble. So
yeah, shout out to y'all watching over on Rumble. But yeah, as you can see on the screen here from the Post Millennial, it says Sound of Freedom is a smashing success, projected to earn over $40 million in opening week.
That's insane. I think the budget was only $14 million, if I understand correctly. And they added a little bit more on top of that, you figure, for advertising. But reality, a lot of people haven't seen advertising for this movie.
Dude, I didn't know it was coming out until it came out. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I talked to my parents.
Did you know, like, in the lead up to the movie?
I had no idea that this was even a thing.
Let us know in the chat if you knew before, because I truly had no idea. How did people start finding out about this? Because I had heard that Mel Gibson was making a movie that was going to expose human trafficking. Like, I heard that, and I heard the buzzes of that. But is that movie? Is this that movie, or is there another Mel Gibson movie coming out soon?
Well, somebody just asked that too. Said, "What is a lot of people keep seeing Mel Gibson tied to this." I don't know if he is coming out with his own film or if he had some type of producing effort involved with this film. I think he did have some type of background with this film, but I don't 100% know. So I would have to do some research. I don't want to sit there and say for sure I know. I think he had, like I said, a producing hand or some type of, involvement in the background and making of this film was what I understand. Like I said, I have to do my own research and figure out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to look up the IMDb page real quick.
Yeah, I know, like I said, for sure he's working on a new documentary that he's doing on his own now. And it was honestly, and not to go down like some kind of rabbit hole, there's a couple other actors and actresses and some musicians that were supposed to be involved in this type of documentary film. and they're no longer with us. What's that one actress that used to be married to Ellen DeGeneres that died in a car wreck?
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
It was just recently. She was apparently involved in some type of documentary that had to do with that, and then that whole situation's very weird. But her death was very weird. But yeah, the movie itself, man, like 40 million is insane. Because like I said, where I started seeing this was just a little bit of advertisement on Twitter, and the what's his name, the actor who portrayed him, was it Jim Caviezel? I think is
Cavazel, I think is how you say it. People always get mad at me every time I say it, but I think
yeah,
it's like Cavazel.
I think it's Caviezel, but I might be wrong. I
It
don't
has a
know.
Z for sure. I'm looking at it.
I'm horrible with normal names, let alone like that's my thing, is always saying names wrong. And that's it. Bill Stacy. Anne Hetch was her name. That
Okay.
actress that passed. She's actually in Donnie Brasco. But the stuff surrounding her death, she was apparently involved in some type of documentary that had involved this type of trafficking situation in Hollywood, and she was in a car wreck. So
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I don't see Mel Gibson anywhere on the production for Sound of Freedom. So I guess he didn't officially have anything to do with it, but I know that he's been like supporting the movie a lot because I think he cares about the cause, a lot. Obviously, if he's doing a 4-part documentary on it. Cavazel. I don't know. Close enough.
Swanee, Slappy. That
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber scene always.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, dude, absolutely freaking not love the movie, but the movie was done so well. That's one thing I will say about movies. I think they're very, very important is their rewatchability. Like, for example, Philadelphia, pull that out there. Great movie, but never want to watch it again. I use that all the
Yeah.
time. And Pops does as well. He's got a great channel, but that's a movie like I never want to rewatch. I would be able, even though this is a hard watch, I could still rewatch this movie and it not, you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's impactful, but it's an important impact. Whereas Philadelphia is just like, oh, like that kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is
it's
it
a
like
thrill.
uncomfortable? Like, are you uncomfortable for like most of the movie, like Joker?
No. I mean, I'm a little desensitized from things due to my background. So like
Yeah.
but it's still impactful. Like there were definitely people around me, like in the older audience, you could hear them just like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like you could hear those comments because it's also part of the main actors or the main characters kind of own personal demons having to deal with this, right? Because he was working with Homeland Security. So he's working in this basically dealing, can I say pedos? I'm going to say pedos.
Just say PDF file. That's what he said.
Yeah, he deals with PDF files, right? So he's talking about how like, and you could see how this is taking a toll on him as a human being because those officers and stuff that work in this background have to watch this stuff, right? They have to watch these videos, they have to see these crime scenes, and you could see like they're like one scene there's zooming in on his eye while he's watching it on a TV or on a computer screen, and just like his tears are just running down. Like this man's breaking internally because of what he's having to witness and see, and he has his own children. And what kind of sparked all of this was he was having a conversation with the coworker, and he's like, "Well, we caught the bad guy," and then the coworker's like, "Yeah, but how many kids have we caught? Or how many kids have we saved?" And that was like the spark in his head, like, well, "Yeah, we caught 280 whatever pedophiles, but we haven't saved any children."
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It's like, well, we need to do something different here because we're putting these idiots away, but
Yeah. I have a question that's going to sound really stupid, but it sounds like the title of this movie is one of those titles where they say it in the movie. So I just want to know, is there a moment where they're like, oh, what's that sound? And somebody's like, that's the sound of freedom.
It's not like what's that sound, but yes, they do. It is mentioned in the movie.
Okay.
The sound, but it's not done where you're like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? Like there are scenes there's never a scene in that movie where I'm like, here you go. Even the one scene that he does where it's famously said, God's children are not for sale. Like that is a main line that a lot of people refer to. They keep saying this is a very religious film. It's not at all. Like he mentions, like God is mentioned twice, and it's not like pushy or any way, shape, or form. It doesn't, like, that was the only main impactful thing was like, God's children are not for sale. And then there was one other scene where another character mentions about, because of the horrible things that he's done, God spoke to him to wake him up, be like, hey, you're the reason why these kids are basically in so much pain. And he was, not to, like I said, I'm trying not to do spoilers, but it was somebody who used to be a bad person, and they've decided, like, I don't want to go down this lifestyle anymore and this road. So that's why he was helping the main character. But yeah, I mean, like I said, very, very impactful film, shot very well, definitely intense. This is not in any way, shape, or form like a big major action movie. So don't go in there expecting like a bunch of, it's not. It's a character built and driven story. The writing's very well done, but I mean, it's based on a true story. So, I mean, it's, I would say, fairly easy to do.
Do we know like how close it is to the actual true story? Because I see different, like some people say it's like very loose, and then some people say it's like almost exact. So do we know?
The only thing I know for sure is what they showed in the film. And I don't want to give anything away, but like
Yeah.
towards the middle, I guess, the middle to end of the movie, there's this certain bust that they portray on, like, I'm trying not to do spoilers, but it's hard to explain this without. So if you don't want to be spoiled, maybe want to pause it or skip or wait for a second. But
Yeah.
they utilize this island to do like a bust for these traffickers. And they show actual video of that bust on the island at the end of the movie. So like exactly how it laid out in the movie, you could see like how they were sitting at the table, drinking wine, celebrating that they were going to make this kind of private island thing. And then the cops roll up. There's undercover, like, actual camera footage that you see of that actually happening. So
Okay.
it was, that part at least was fairly, now the ending and all that, I have no idea. I have no clue if it's spot on. I'm sure it's exaggerated at some point in time a little bit, because that's all
Yeah.
movies, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's already made 40 million in its first week. The film also received an A+ cinema score, 76% fresh score, and 99% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Oh,
it already more than doubled its budget.
yeah, and Google reviews are through the roof. I mean, and this type of movement and movie, I think, is really eye-opening in the sense where, you know how we see on the internet, you have like the left and all the lunatics are always the loudest.
Yeah.
This movie is really eye-opening in the sense that, like, the quiet ones are finally speaking up, in the sense where we're not like, banging and screaming, but this right here are the actions. The actions are,
Yep.
are happening, and you can
It's
see, like,
happening more often, man. Like with
yep.
the Bud Light stuff, and then the Target stuff, and now there's positive ones where it's brands that are doing things that we actually like, or brand, not a brand necessarily, but a movie that we actually like the message of, and we're supporting it. So that's great to see.
Yeah.
But there's also some nefarious things happening.
As always.
Did
As always.
you see this video?
I have not. I've been off social media for like most of the day and yesterday, so I'm kind of behind.
So like I don't know how true this stuff is, but this lady is claiming that they refunded their tickets for the entire theater without saying anything. Just kind of refunded everybody's tickets and said that the air condition was broken. And then Jack Posobiec put out a tweet asking if anybody else experienced stuff like this. Apparently, a lot of people are having the same thing. Like people are saying that their air conditioning is broken in the theater and their tickets are just automatically getting refunded. So let's check out this video and then we'll go to that Jack Posobiec tweet. Tell me if the audio is good.
So,
It's
don't
good.
know if any one of you have already been to see The Sound of Freedom, but my friends and I just walked out. Hi. And we are curious what your experiences were in the movie theater, because we pre-ordered our tickets, paid for them, they were claimed, got the link sent, and this is an AMC theater in Pineville, North Carolina. Some point today, the tickets got refunded to my friend and we couldn't figure out why. So we come anyways to the theater after dinner and they're like, oh, well, we refunded all the tickets because there's no air conditioning in our theaters. Okay, whatever. We don't care. Are you still showing it? Yeah, you can still watch it. So we get to thinking, why did they not send out a notice in the email saying, hey, we refunded your tickets because there's no air conditioning? And we just are curious why didn't they let us know? There was no one in that theater. There was us four and four other people, 8 people in the theater on a Friday night. There was air conditioning in the lobby. There was air conditioning in the hallways. There was air conditioning in the bathrooms, not the theaters. They don't have the bartender or anything in the theater. I smell something stinky, and I think it's shit.
Okay. All right. I don't know about that ending, but yeah, let's get to the Jack Posobiec tweet because there was a lot of other people that were saying they were having some similar issues. He said, "I know there have been."
Surprise me.
You say?
Oh, I was saying, none of this surprises me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty wild how just out in the open they are with this stuff. But there have been a few videos about this theaters without AC thing regarding Sound of Freedom, and I have no idea if it was just one place or not. In the comments, have you had tickets for Sound of Freedom refunded due to lack of AC or other issues? And there was a ton of people, man. Here in Austin, Texas tonight, no AC, audio at half volume. They noticed the AC was purposefully turned off in the room at the Showcase Cinema in I guess Massachusetts. I don't know. Thought it was strange. Almost complained also. So you can just see there's a ton of people. This person even posted a screenshot. Air condition is not working. Sorry for the inconvenience. My theater had more than half the seats refunded on Wednesday night. So
that's really interesting. I wonder if they're all, I know a lot of people are saying AMC. I wonder if it's all the same theater. If it's definitely the same theater doing this, like the same, not the same theater, but the AMC, that's obviously, in my opinion, that's something that's like we sent a memo out to everyone at the AMCs and they're like, hey, this is what you could do, blah, blah, blah. But because why? Yeah. I mean, I've never heard of that before.
And it could be from two different things. Like there could be, like there's so many reasons to censor this movie because one, it's embarrassing the shit out of Indiana Jones. So that could be one reason why. And for two, they obviously,
I think the biggest thing besides, I think the Indiana Jones part is definitely key, right? Because this is, a lot of people don't understand Disney, and they do. A lot of people here are probably paying attention to that stuff. But like we said, they used to own this, right? So this is even more embarrassing than normal. But I think also the whole PDF file thing is they're trying to change that terminology. Now it's what maps is the new phrase, or this movie clearly says PDF file multiple times, like. It's not like they dance around the word. It is clear as day. That's what they are labeled. That's what it is. So if these people support, these other terminologies, because we talked about this before on my stream, Justin, where, we talked about how, the fluidity of gender is going to slowly slide into the fluidity of age, right? Where it's just a number and that's what's going to happen because they're trying to be accepting of everybody. And I think that's part of this for sure.
Yeah, and I know last time we were talking about that. I was wondering why, what is the agenda behind them normalizing that? Because these elites, they don't have to they're above the law. They don't need a reason to, they don't need an out. They don't need it to be legal for them to touch kids. They do that shit already and nothing happens to them. And they don't give a shit about the law. So I was always wondering why, what is the benefit? And I just realized it goes even further into destroying the family unit. Because think about all the people who are homosexual or whatever. Most of the time they have some kind of childhood trauma. A lot of time they were touched as a kid. So if they want people to be gay or trans or something to destroy the family unit, what's a way to create more gay people? Normalize PDF files, normalize maps.
Yep.
It's pretty easy. So
well, and also too, I think if as you said, they don't care about the law, and they don't, we see that all the time and time again, are the people who are running the country and everything are committing crimes left and right. But we haven't been pushed to the point where, for example, where you see things in France, where I think, people will take enough shit and then eventually go, no. And when you get to that hard line, we've already seen kids are the hard line for sure. You mess with children. Yep. People will start flipping over cop cars. People will start. You want to see, if you thought that date in January was something, you start messing with people's children, and people are openly doing that. I can guarantee people are not just going to sit there and be like, well, it's our, what are we going to do? No, it's at this point, it's we can't lose everything. So if we're going to lose everything, we might as well go put all the chips in and go for it at that point. So I'm trying to watch what I say too. So.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. I'm kind of a professional because of the shit that I talk about on my channel. It's just like, yeah, I pretty much can't say half the things that I want to, but
I know.
I'll try. But yeah, there was also this video. Did you see this one?
I heard about it. I've not actually seen the video though.
Yeah, this one's bad, man. This one's really bad. This is what I was talking about, where this guy was saying that Sound of Freedom was based on, what do you call it, bogus statistics or things like that. And I thought it was funny because as I was recording the video, I noticed the dude's name. His name is Mike Rothschild, this guy that's talking here. Just saying.
Yeah.
I know, like, if you actually look into it, he has no relation, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Pretty familiar with him because he doesn't really hide his association with this real wild plot that involves, drinking the blood of children and things like that.
No, he doesn't hide it at all. And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of sex trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Man.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it's specific.
Like, for one, no, it's not. It's not bogus statistics. This guy, I said in my video, this guy must have never heard of the Jeffrey guy that died in jail. Like, and even if he's the only one is too many. One of these child, rings are too many.
Well, and usually, just real quick, yeah, about that one guy, Jeffrey, right? Usually, that's the one you caught. There's about 5 more you don't know about. That's number one. Like, there's one island we know about. There's probably about 5 more. Yeah. 2, let's just, for example, let's say he is the biggest, conspiracy theorist, or whatever, right? That has nothing to do with this film. Like, they don't even say, like, they were talking about drinking the blood of children. That none of that is ever said in the movie. There's nothing about celebrities being involved or elites being involved in this movie. So whether he is completely insane, out of his mind, saying crazy stuff on the back end, whatever the case may be, what does that have to do with this movie? The message of this movie still stands strong and is still promoting this in any way, shape, or form that, yes, this stuff is bad and that it needs to be stopped. The fact that they're trying to even push and convince people in a as proper way as possible that, hey, because this guy is a lunatic, you shouldn't go watch the movie. It really just shows you that they're pro PDF file. In my opinion.
There's no other explanation. It's literally a retelling of true events.
Yeah.
What if it's just a good story? Like, even if there was no messaging behind it at all, it's just a retelling of true events. I don't know. Like, it's kind of up to your interpretation what the message is. I think it's pretty obvious what it is, but it's up to your interpretation. All they're doing is retelling true events. It's like, I don't know. It's like American Sniper or just
even
anything.
if it's based on, even if it was loosely based on true events, at the very end of the movie, they lay you out like the statistics of how many children go missing at the end, each year, that a lot of this is coming from the United States mainly. And, but it is international. Like, why would bringing this type of information to the light and have the public pay attention to, hey, this is a multi-billion-dollar business and it needs to stop. Like, basically they say overall, like, there's more slavery going on now in the world than ever in history of any time. Why would that be a bad thing if that's the actual truth? Which it is. We see that time and time again. Like, there's statistics to actually back this stuff up. So bringing this stuff to the light, it just shows you, and that they have a problem with that. And they're trying to, get their audience to say, oh, well, this is just some nut job. I'm not going to go watch this. it is so like it again. It's just they label themselves, they out themselves, and that's what they're doing. And we already knew it, but
it's crazy that these same people will have such a big issue. They cause such a big uproar about like Chinese sweatshops and stuff. And whenever it's whenever it's child slaves doing, really, really dark things or getting dark things done to them, they don't care. It's QAnon conspiracy theories.
There are, and this is not a lie. There are CNN producers that have been arrested for doing the same thing, that have been involved in this. So no wonder they're sitting there trying to they don't want this to be big news. They don't want to talk about it. But they're being forced to talk about it because this movie's doing so well and it's grabbing headlines. I mean, it's blowing up. Nobody talked about this movie a week ago. Now, all of a sudden you can't get on internet. You can't do anything without someone talking about Sound of Freedom. Yeah. They have to discuss it and they have to try to debunk it because that's what propaganda does. They're not news. They're propaganda.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to do like Joker numbers. Obviously, it doesn't have the name recognition of something like Joker. When somebody says, dude, there's this new Joker movie, you should go see it. Everybody already knows what Joker is, so they're going to go check it out. But this is going to make some serious money, man. 40 million in his first week. That's insane. And then you take into consideration the budget. It could end up like, how much do you think this could end up making? Like 300 million? Like,
I don't know if it's going to make that much, but I mean, it's going to definitely, I think he'll definitely maybe hit the 100 million mark. And remember, this is not worldwide. This is only domestic. This movie's not been released international. And I would say that most of this movie, and it just shows you how impactful word of mouth is, because this movie is only doing as well because more people are talking about it and they're telling their friends, hey, go see this. Or, they're sharing stuff on Twitter with people and they're sharing YouTube videos about it. So it's insanity that this is blowing up as big as it is. I'm glad it is. It's a good thing, but it just shows you how powerful kind of we all are in a sense. And a lot of people say this, like, we are the new media. Like, it's not we as in me, but I'm saying like everyone here sharing things, talking about things on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you're doing, like the legacy's dead. Like, they're gone. And it just shows you that there is power in spreading this stuff. So
no doubt. And it's really good to see not just like a movie with a great message, but also just, it's not a big studio film. It's not a Marvel film. It's not a Lucasfilm movie. It's just,
and it's still filmed better than they like. I'm telling you, the production value, the acting. There's not one actor in there. Like I said, you've seen movies where you have a bad actor or you have something out of place, and you're like, it takes you out of it. No, man, this movie is tense. This movie is, you're in it. There's not one moment where you're. It's not like you're taken out of it. You're, like I said, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think, and you get lost in those 2 hours and 15 minutes. You're shaking your head at one point, it's just the very ending, especially. It's a very tense scene, and it's a ride for sure, but it's a good one. And it's, like I said, it's impactful and powerful.
All right, let's finish this video off because we got a few more videos to go over as well.
Specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, you're just killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these pedophile rings that save children. Now,
why is he saying that like it's so evil?
Yeah, like,
you're helping bring down.
How dare you give money to help stop the elites from, drinking blood of children? Like, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I look like. I look cute, huh?
Not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have.
Yep. This movie is definitely making all these media outlets go mask off for sure.
Good. And I think more people need to see that. This is what needs to happen. They need to be brought out. They need to be shown, because I think any sensible person can look at this and just be like, what are you talking about? Even if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, like even the lunatic critics there that normally, shit on this type of stuff, it's hard for them to admit that this is a bad movie. Even the bad articles, like I did a couple of videos on this, how they referred to it as a Q movie and all that. Even the one person who was doing the review, it was like Midtown Manhattan or something, right? So it was super lefty. Even they had to admit that, like, everyone in the audience got up and was like clapping, and people were crying. Like, the normal human being out there
Yeah.
understands how impactful this is. The brainwashed soy-based brain can't comprehend how important this is because, oh, we have to tie this to a political side, which is the right, and well, now it's terrible. Like, I don't know.
Yep. I don't even understand how this can possibly be a right-wing movie. I don't understand at all.
Well, maybe because a lot of leftists don't have children, and if they do, they let them identify as zebras. I don't know. I have no idea.
There's somebody in the Rumble chat saying, "Okay, MAGA losers, you guys excited to see Trump go to jail? No wonder you guys have no viewers." You got 350 people watching, dude. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. If y'all could like the video, I'd appreciate it. And also, once again, Matt will be doing a review of the movie on his channel. The link is in the description right now. And then somebody responded to him and said, "Oh, look, another leftist supporting PDF files who grape and slaughter little kids."
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's arguing about this movie, like I said, how I don't get it. Your politics should not be involved in this. Your religious beliefs should not be involved. I don't care if you're left, right, up, down, believe in God, don't believe in God. This movie is important because children should not be subjected to this type of stuff. Like, this should not even be a thing that exists. Unfortunately, it does. And the fact that we see mainstream media trying to normalize this behavior that, oh yeah, the basic, like, abusing children in this way, shape, or form. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things I can't say right now on YouTube, and it's just like they just don't belong in our society. If you hurt children like this and you partake in this type of behavior, you do not belong in our part of society.
Or defend it, or try to silence people that are trying to expose it. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
But yeah, I got Rumble. I'm live on Rumble right now. I'll go get the link in 1 second. Casey says grape. I can't keep up. Yeah, we got the words for
the
algorithm
YouTube,
friendly words for everything.
You got to need a dictionary for YouTube. Like the Urban Dictionary, the YouTube dictionary.
Yeah. But did you see this one? This is from the lead actor.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of this. I don't think I watched the whole thing.
It's a pretty cool video. I think this is why they're calling him like a QAnon conspiracy theorist, because of this one. I think. Or this might have been in response to them already calling him that. I don't know. Let's check this out.
Deals wouldn't hire me, but see, they're all controlled by the central banks. People have to. Do you really think Biden is the president of the United States? Do you really think he's running our country? Who above him? Who are the puppeteers? Here's how you'll know that everything I've said is the truth. When they come out and they just blast me, they have to. They have no choice, because the devil has no choice in this matter. God is coming for him. And I'm talking about the Christ Jesus God. That is the one that's coming after him. And there's a big storm coming, and they know it. So they have to go and threaten you with everything from Q, Anon, or whatever they want to say. Do you know what Q really means? It means question. That's what one of these people told me. And I said, well, that seems like a good thing. Anon, question, right? Anons then go out and research it to see if it's true, because we've been fed their lies. Think about Monday. What happened? A Durham report was dropped. The FBI, the CIA, all of these guys are involved. Now, I know it's not all of them. The lower guys are probably just crying. But I'm asking you, warriors, to come out and tell the truth. If we would just unite. You know, I love that scene from Mel Gibson. I love that movie. When he runs out, where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight. Well, I'm here to pick one right now, because I'll do it for my children. I'll do it for your children.
And that's why he got blackballed.
Yeah.
He actually cares about the message. He actually cares about saving kids. So that's why he can't get a job, because Disney ain't gonna let you work for him if you don't want to touch kids.
A lot of actors or actresses that speak out about this stuff or say anything, they get the boot too. You're not in the club, Yeah.
I remember back when the Gina Carano cancellation happened, I remember people coming out and telling stories about how they would sit down at their interview or their audition, and there's an interview before the audition, and they would ask them, like, what do you think about Joe Biden? What do you think about Donald Trump? And if you answer wrong, you're just gone. Like, you just don't get the job.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And nowadays it's like, hey, do you support the rape of children? And if you answer no, then they get you out of there. You got to support it. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. ABJ says they blacked both of his balls. True. Thanks for the input, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, did you have anything else to say about the Sound of Freedom? Anybody in the chat got any more anecdotes about it?
I just recommend, like I said, going to checking out, supporting it, and it's worth it. Thankfully we haven't heard anything. I have a couple people in my, because I did a video on this, like the topic and stuff prior to going to see it, because I wasn't able to go on the actual 4th of July, and during the week it's just too damn busy. And a lot of people were saying to, stay safe, because you never know. That is a thing, right? With this movie has religious ties or anything like that, you never know, because there's a lot of crazy people out there. So stay strapped if you can. Be careful, but definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah,
I want to try to find some of the articles where people calling it, QAnon adjacent and all that stuff.
The Guardian was one of them. Washington Post did one. Rolling Stones did one. Of course, all leftist media. Like on my video, I was talking about the Guardian. They are supported by and funded by, they even said, by governments, by private organizations. One of the biggest organization that funds the Guardian is the Bill Gates Foundation, who, remind you, is friends with that Jeffrey E. guy, and was on the island and said, well, yeah, I regret having dinner with him like 85 times. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Here's the Washington Post one. Sound of Freedom is a box office hit whose star embraces QAnon. Like, dude.
I don't care if he embraces fucking Santa Claus, to be honest with you. Like, I don't care what he does. Yeah. That has nothing to do with the movie and the message behind the movie. It's the whole point is he's getting the message out there, how horrible this is, an eye-opening, that people need to be aware that there's a lot of people that didn't know this was a thing. Like, look at the whole Jeffrey E. thing, right? When that happened, and that Maxine,
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, like his.
I just said the fucking name.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
You're done now. Old Maxi Pad there. When she was on trial, you remember when that was going on? What else was going on?
No.
The Johnny Depp turd trial.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was talking about that. No one even cared about that trial. That was it was hidden. It was no one. And again, even now, we don't even know. Like, yeah, these two people were quote unquote caught. Who did they do this stuff with? Who were their customers? Right? We don't know
the list that came out. There was some list that came out, but it didn't have everybody.
Yeah, like they don't know where this information is. Like, are you kidding me? If you don't pay your taxes, you're gonna go to prison. And the people that bought this, we don't know. It's all right, no big deal. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, people care more about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff. It's more sexy. It's more spicy than somehow child trafficking. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Let's see. What's the other ones? Here's the Rolling Stone one.
Yeah, the Rolling Stone was pretty crazy. But they're super. Yeah, look, is a superhero movie for dads with brain worms.
What does this even mean?
Well, I'm assuming
QAnon tinge thriller about child being in traffic is designed to appeal to the conscience of conspiracy-addled boomer.
The way I didn't read this article, but the way I took this article, or the headline, and from people that I saw commenting, they're making it seem like that dads kind of wish this type of thing happens so that they can do some type of like fulfill some like Punisher style dream. Then I'm telling you right now, I would never want, like, why would anyone ever wish that something happened to their children? And if you've ever dealt with violence or experienced violence in any shape or form, you don't want to have to do it. You should be ready to do it and prepared to do it. Yeah. But like nobody that's ever experienced it or done it or anything of that nature wants to do it again. You should be ready to, but nobody wants that to happen. So this is, again, just some brainlet lunatic that, sucks the left sauce, and they don't know what they're talking about. So
they're just trying to find a way to spin it negatively, which I truly just don't get it, man. I mean, I get it, but I can't get how like blatant they are about it.
It's agenda over anything else. It's a my side versus their side kind of. That's how you're never gonna, the whole like coexist sticker and all that bullshit you see on people. There's some people you could just never coexist with. It's just not possible. It's unfortunately there are people that are normal, but these people are not normal. You could present them with every bit of facts, everything you could, and they'll say it's a lie, it's bullshit. You're just and it doesn't matter. They'll just make up something. I mean, look at all the stuff with not to jump topics here, but with Biden's son, right? And like we literally found drugs at the White House, and that's not like that's being joked about. Like, can you imagine that happened with Trump in office? It would be every day,
jail for life.
every day, and there would already have been like 5 arrests.
Yeah,
nothing is even being spoken about, and it's not even about like because it's. I'm just saying like I'm just trying to be like what's fair is fair, but the fact that like even like this leftist lunatic, right? You think they would even mention it? No, that they would do. Well, Trump got indicted for like it's always like a one up, like oh we're both wrong kind of thing. Like it's bonkers, man.
Yeah, and then even the ads on this website are woke, bro. Like Ukrainian children need your support.
Yeah,
bro.
No, they
fuck them kids. Fuck the kids. Yeah.
Fuck the Ukrainian kids, man.
Yeah, there's the context because we are talking about this movie.
That's such a horrible.
We're talking about The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, that was a horrible video. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Oh, it's okay.
Jesus, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
That was hilarious.
Oh man. Yeah, I think that's about it for the Sound of Freedom stuff. Let's talk about
Go see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it. There's too many people saying too many positive things. I hate going to the movies nowadays, man. I feel like I sit there for like fuck, dude. I shouldn't have played that video. I feel like I always sit there for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and I'm just like, dude, I just wasted 2 hours of my life. I could have just, sail the 7 seas and wait,
This is and like I said, a lot of those movies, there's people that are saying Movie Pass, which is a good thing too if you don't feel like going to the theater.
Hey, what is that?
You could pay, I think
I thought Movie Pass was like you can go see a certain amount of movies for free each month. Is Movie Pass now like a streaming thing?
Yeah, and I think there's like Fandango too, where you can pay and stream it from home, I believe. I don't do it, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think there are ways that you can still pay and stream from home as long as you sign up for that. Is my understanding. I'm sure someone in the chat knows, but like I said, I'm not a big movie goer. I love going to the movies. Just everything sucks, and I'm not going to spend $20+ to go see a shit movie where I already know I'm going to get some type of political messaging shoved down my throat, or some strong independent woman's going to make my favorite superhero look like a fucking idiot, or Indiana Jones like a depressed, decrepit old man. Like I'm not paying for that. So or them kill fucking Batman. No thanks.
Yeah, well, at least we were talking about it the other day, but at least it makes you feel something. Everybody always says like if a movie makes you feel something, it's a good. I think the only exception is if the feeling is they just destroyed my favorite character of all time, destroyed my favorite IP of all time, or like boredom. There's a ton of examples of they killed off my favorite character, or they killed off in a bad spot, or they destroyed my favorite character, destroyed my favorite IP. An example of boredom for me is Ad Astra. That movie fucking sucked.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a Brad Pitt space movie. That movie sucks.
No, I mean, I've never even heard of it. I have no idea.
It was so hyped up going into it. I went and see it in the movies. They had a battle on the moon. I've never seen a battle on the moon so boring. I don't even know how it was possible.
Did you see Indie Nation's comment?
Let me see.
One? So there is a pay it forward program that you can do where I see it all over Twitter. It's like, hey, if you want a free ticket, I think you can sign up or something, because there are people who are like they're donating, and that way you can get a free ticket through that way. I mean, I would, if you can afford it, I would absolutely go and see it. Just go to like an early showing. Like I went to matinee at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Like I said, shocked at how many people were in there. I was like, holy, I have not seen that many people in a movie theater in a long time.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. So many people are talking about Sound of Freedom, and that's why I was saying it could make like 250 or 300 million, because it made 40 million its first week. And really now was like when people are really starting to talk about it. Like everybody's talking about it on YouTube and Twitter and everything. So I think that it could be like a extreme exponential growth, but I don't know. I'm not a box office expert. I don't fucking know.
I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, this is the first like technically opening weekend, so we'll see. And then again, it depends on what the drop off is going to be next week compared to that. Like, I'm not the biggest box office person. I try to cover it because I do cover, you know, like pop culture and movies and stuff. So we'll see how it works. But like I said, word of mouth is key. And again, when I was looking at the app to get tickets for the 12 o'clock showing, I was like, just for shits and giggles, let's look at like the 1:30, the 2, the 3, just to see. Maybe it's like, all right, maybe it's just the 12 o'clock showing that had a lot of people. No, man, I'm talking every single showing had at least, you know, 35 to 40 seats filled. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, because I normally don't buy tickets early. I just go and because I haven't had to in a long time, besides like No Way Home. And this time I was like, all right, I need to make sure that I get these, because I don't want to go there and get stuck in the first aisle and have to stare up at the screen the whole time. I hate
that shit sucks, dude. I remember the only movie I've ever done that for was like the first Hunger Games movie that came out, because I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know it was going to be like packed in there. So fuck, that shit sucked. But anyway, on the Ben and Jerry's. Once again, thank y'all for being in the chat. I appreciate it if y'all like the video, and go sub to Matt. Links in the description. But yeah, this Ben and Jerry situation I think is pretty funny. Native American tribe demands Ben and Jerry's return its land after 4th of July message. And look, I'll just put the statement out there. I said it in my video, and people seem to agree. And Matt, I think we already talked about it, but you can let me know your thoughts as well. I don't think we should be ashamed of conquering America at all. I think not only America, but the entire earth should celebrate the conquering of America, because I mean, think about the effect that America has had on the world economically, culture-wise. Like, everybody looks to us. So if it didn't happen the way it did, yeah, we did some bad things, you know, so some things happen, and, you know, certain presidents bomb certain areas and innocent people die. That stuff happens. But for the most part, I think America has had a pretty positive effect on the entire world. So I think we should have a holiday where we celebrate the conquering of America. And I think the entire earth should also be grateful for it, if not have their own holiday as well.
No, I agree. I mean, without what happened, right, we wouldn't be where we are. Now, I'm not pro government, only because, you know, I've been in the government. I've worked, you know, in prior Marine Corps and stuff, and, you know, the government does a lot of horrible things. But reality is that we've, you know, without doing what we did and having what we have today, we wouldn't be here. So yes, have they been treated poorly after? Absolutely, right? But to sit there and say like, oh, we need to return all this land to you and all that, no, because Native Americans, you know, murdered each other all the time. They conquered each other. They raped people. They did terrible, terrible things in response, and way before anyone was even trying to conquer America or take their land, so to speak. So they were other tribes fighting each other, all kinds of stuff. So I don't. Yeah, I'm not this type of like, oh, we need to give this stuff back. No, sorry, you lost. It is what it is. Like, should we give our, you know, I don't know, should we just let England come take over, because technically we were under their power?
Every single country conquered.
Yeah,
that's how they got their land. And it's not like it was some, you know, guy with the mustache situation. Like, it's not like we were coming here and killing off people based on their skin color just simply because we didn't like their skin color. Like, no, dude, it was, you know, we were conquering land. We're doing what people did back then. I say we, like I was there or something, but, you know, I always, you know, they always try to, you know, push me in with them. Like I was there, like I was killing Native Americans and shit. So, you know, it starts to feel like that, but yeah, I'm not ashamed of it at all. I don't think anybody should be. Or I mean, either nobody should be, or every single country needs to feel shame because everybody did the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that, you know, first off, this, how long ago are we talking about that all this happened still? I mean, we have to, yeah, we could be, you know, mindful of the past and everything, but it's, what are you expecting here? Are we supposed to rip up society because because of what happened to the Native Americans? Again, if we do that, every single person, whether you're Irish, Black, Latino, Chinese, everything have been discriminated. Italians, they've all been discriminated against. Horrible things have happened to them. Like, what are we supposed to do? That's it's just not possible, right? Shit happens, and everyone that's happened to are long gone by now.
Hold up. Natives are still suffering today. Do you know how much better the Native Americans' lives are that are here today than, like, you know how much better their lives are than they would have been if we didn't conquer their land? They would be living in teepees going, oh, and shit right now, scalping each other. Like, come on, bro. You're an absolute idiot.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a lot of, that's a YouTube comment. So,
yeah, this. But anyway, I just thought it was pretty funny how Ben and Jerry's is, they're saying that we should give back land, and their little headquarters is built on Native.
Exactly.
American
And
land.
that's the thing, right? So that's why you don't do this stuff. That's why you don't bend the knee and say these type of stupid things, because now they've stuck their foot in their mouth. Are they going to give up their land to this person? Are they going to sign anything over? Of course not. They're not going to give them anything. So
no, this is like a prime example of just like empty virtue signaling. Like, there's nothing that they do other than, like, they put some kind of link in their post, like, to donate to some, I don't know, some native tribe shit, and that's the most lengths that they'll go to actually act on their words instead of just speaking.
Yeah, and again, now that they've been called out on this, what are they going to do? Nothing. They're not going to do anything. They're going to just ignore it, and they're going to move on, and they're going to hopefully they're going to do what Bud Light's trying to do, hope that people forget about it, and till the next woke bullshit comes up, and then they're going to virtue signal like they always do.
Hey, Justin, listen, I love your channel, but what you just said about Native Americans really didn't come out right. Look, I really don't give a shit. Okay, I don't give a single fuck if it hurts your feelings. It's the truth. If we didn't conquer the land, then this land would be ran by people who were far less advanced technology-wise and IQ-wise than the people who conquered it. Therefore, they would probably be living a much worse life than if we didn't conquer the land, and that's just a fact.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, again, it's all speculation, but I don't think that if we never came to America, Native Americans would have eventually had their own industrial revolution. Like, I can't imagine that would never have happened. They would have stayed Native Americans doing exactly what they did.
I think, like, people who live on, like, reservations, I'm pretty sure they still, like, reject certain technologies and stuff. Like, they still don't want that they still don't want to go through the revolution.
I don't know, because I don't know anything about. I mean, I just know, like, I know alcoholism is really bad, but again, that's a whole side conversation, because the government did mistreat them and kind of do a lot of other things, like, not mistreat. Well, no, they did. They kind of screwed them over, and but again, I understand that, because the government are not your friend. So that's one lesson: is the federal government is not something that we should have more of. But
yeah,
I
love how people say this. You need to get educated a little bit more. Instead of saying that, how about you just educate me? Just tell me what I don't know.
Well, how can you? I mean, to sit there and say that they wouldn't be still doing something, how would you know that? How would you know that they would have? Again, do you think they would have built their own skyscrapers? Do you think that they didn't build casinos because they learned that on their own? No, they got a shit ton of money from the government, and then they realized that, like, after we industrialized and built up towns and cities, they followed in the footsteps and made money off that. Like, that doesn't. Yeah, you're not going to know that. So
yeah, and it's like that would be. Oh man, never mind. No, I'm not gonna say that. Whatever. Yeah, I watched Yellowstone, so I'm pretty knowledgeable on all of that stuff. That was a joke, by the way. But that's about all I had for the Ben and Jerry stuff. I just wanted to make some soy boys mad in the chat real quick. You got anything else on the Ben and Jerry stuff?
No. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Again, the virtue signaling comes back and kicks them in the teeth. It's usually what these companies do. It's not the smartest things in the world. Don't simp for this type of stuff, and just shut your mouth and sell ice cream or sell beer. Don't virtue signal, because it always backfires and blows up, and then you piss both sides off. So,
yeah. Well, let's watch this video. It's just pretty funny. You see?
Oh
this,
my
right?
God. Ooh, this again. Imagine if this was anybody else and this came out. God, terrible. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Hold on. They're still talking. Justin is ignoring about 10,000 variables that contributed to the outcome of what happened with Native Americans. I generally agree with him, but they are American. Wait, but they are Americans.
Oh yeah, they are Americans, and they were screwed over by the federal government. Well, yeah, no one's disputing that. He's saying what we're saying is that they would not have turned into like this some great big giant
the world
sophisticated
superpower
society. Yeah, like that wouldn't have happened. It's very similar to like Afghanistan if you really want to compare, because like they like their traditions, their old ways, you know. I mean, back then they were praying to rain gods for their crops. I mean, I don't know. I don't think
I thought people were bowling in the sky when it thundered and shit. Like,
yeah, I don't think their gods would have been very happy if they started doing construction and, and I don't know. But.
Oh man! But let's watch Joe Biden sniff a girl. Why is there no audio?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I thought this video had audio.
I've heard the audio on it. I don't know why that one doesn't though.
Oh, this is just whatever. I'll go find the other video. Give me a second. Can you talk to the chat real quick?
Yeah.
Natives suck. True.
I don't know. I don't.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke for all you soy boys.
A lot of people get mad and bent, but it is what it is. Yeah, the sniffing video is insane, dude. I mean, there's multiple videos out there of him doing it, but this is like as close as you can get. It's almost like a body cam of
I thought it was fake at first.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen it circulating. It looked pretty real. And then apparently at the end, because I saw a little bit of it and I shut it off. But apparently they said at the end, like she tells him like she's recording and his face looks shocked or whatever. I don't know. Did you also see the video of him on the beach? He's like just relaxing and no one's even bothering him. Trump goes to a UFC fight and he's treated like a damn king. It's insane.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, let me bring this article back up. There was one more thing that I thought was pretty funny. Nolhegan Band of Coosac Abenaki Nation Chief Don Stevens. What?
That is
You telling me Don Stevens is the Nolhegan Band of the Coosac Abenaki Nation chief?
Well, Elizabeth Warren, wasn't she supposedly 1% Native American or something? Yeah, Pocahontas.
Yeah, I just thought that shit was funny. But yeah, back to Joe sniffing.
Yeah. Hail Don Stevens. Oh, that's funny.
There you go. This should be the right one.
Don't tell mommy what I told you. You got it?
Mm-hmm. I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording. I'm gonna selfie.
See?
Let me get a selfie? Sure.
Well, he was just like posing for a picture. So.
Yeah, but he said, "Don't tell mommy what I told." He's like, "You want?" He goes, "First, do you want to hear a secret?" And then he just sniffs, and then he says, "Don't tell mommy what I told you." And
was he sniffing like the child in her hand?
I don't know. Play it again.
Let me whisper a secret.
Yeah, he sniffed the kid. He sniffed I thought he sniffed her at first. Nope, he sniffed the kid.
What the
Holy
fuck?
hell.
Oh my god.
Don't tell mommy what I told you.
I probably can't even say what he was trying to say.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
God, man.
I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording. I'm gonna selfie. Can we get a selfie? Sure. Appreciate it. All right. Everybody in.
Who would want a selfie with that guy at all? I wouldn't even want to be near him.
Yeah. What kind of event was this?
Some military thing. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't imagine being in the military and supporting Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Bonkers.
I have to be right back for a couple minutes.
The PDF file of the United States.
Yeah. So entertain the chat, please. I'll be back in 1 minute.
I will. Yellowstone. I don't know. I've not seen that show. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I heard the prequel of that was really good. Was it 1883 or something, or 1889? I heard that was really good. I've not seen Yellowstone. I heard it's really good. I think they're last season or something. They're up to season 5, and then the main character's leaving, or the main actor is leaving. I don't know. I know there's a bunch of drama about that show. I heard it's really good, but again, never really got too far into it or watched it. So there's a great movie with Christian Bale about Native Americans, Hostiles. It's a very good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would check it out. It's towards like the end of the war and whatnot. But yeah, Hostiles is really, really good film. If you, and especially if you like Christian Bale, because I think he's a great actor. But yeah, doesn't surprise me that he is Kevin Costner. That's right. Yeah. I can't pull up the chat. I don't have that ability, but it says Kevin Costner endorsed Liz Cheney like a dumbass. Yeah, I did hear that, or I remember seeing that. I think he wore like a shirt or something. I don't know, man. All of Hollywood and stuff, they're all that's why I say, like, you can't look into these people, and because once you find out a lot about them, it's very hard to separate the art from the artist, so to speak. So if you don't want some of your favorite movies ruined, don't look into the actors, because then once you find out a lot about them, you're like, oh my God. But pretty much they're all trash. So there's a handful out there that are good, obviously, with Sound of Freedom, but they're not in Hollywood anymore. So
True. Join the Discord. They got some cool people in there. Here, I'll put the link in the chat right now. But yeah,
right.
there's some good actors, like I say normal people, such as like Chris Pratt, you know. But there's a Discord link if anybody wants to join. Let's see, what else we got. Have you kept up with the Young Turks at all?
I have not. No, I saw. I think it was one of your videos about that Anna. What's her name?
Yeah, Anna Kasparian, dude. This shit is so funny.
How she's just kind of making that slow slide.
Yeah. But there's people like all the Young Turks mods are like quitting. Like this person.
Over her?
Yeah. Over her and like Jank not disavowing her. This person says, today I very loudly and publicly quit modding for the Young Turks via Super Chat and within a private mod channel on the Discord. I was immediately banned from the main show, but not before people opened and viewed the resignation letter, signed by many other mods. I'm going to open this in a new tab, just in case. Oh, I'm not reading this shit. Holy shit.
Dude, a couple people were saying RIP Joe Rogan. That can't be real.
They do that in every chat. It's just a joke.
Okay. All right. At least I know the joke now.
Yeah, it's just a low IQ internet thing. Look at these fucking idiots. There's no way he's dead. There's no way. Because I'm gonna feel real bad if the dude actually died and I just said internet idiot thing. But yeah, this shit is funny, bro. I can't. Destiny said, "Oh, you guys can all get jobs now. Exciting." But yeah, hold on. There were some videos I wanted to pull up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's crazy once these things started happening to her that she complained about, and she started actually having to deal with a lot of the issues that she would say that weren't an issue before. It's funny how the switch happens. I just think it was pretty funny. It's cool to see that in real time. These people slowly wake up to, like we're lied to and wrong, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy that she's been the host since 2007. And she's built up this fan base that literally just wants to hear her like regurgitate the same talking points over and over, no critical thought. Just want to stay in the echo chamber. And as soon as she starts thinking for herself a little bit and starts questioning her sources a little bit, that's when they're like, I'm leaving the Young Turks. You know, I put in my resignation letter. Please, everyone go view this and sign it and shit. It's like,
and you know, and just to be fair too, we see that on the right as well. Like there's a lot of lunatics that do that too. That it's like, if you deviated from what you normally say, so now I got to stop watching you. Which is just odd. Just have an open mind and think for yourself. Don't blindly follow anyone ever.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think I was on your Thursday show and I said some philosopher from back in the day was like, it shows you like it takes a very intelligent person to entertain other ideas and not like adopt them all the time. Like you don't always have to adopt every single new idea that you come across, because I think that's a big issue. And like I like Joe Rogan and everything, but I think Joe Rogan does that a lot. Or like whoever he's sitting across at the moment, he'll just adopt their opinions so that he can have like a more civil conversation. And I think he does it to I don't think he does it consciously, but I think he does it to make them feel more comfortable and stuff. But yeah, let's check out this video. Let me see what this dude has to say. Just figured you out. Used to hardcore support your channel, but with the natives suck, and you saying yeah, unless you're a soy boy. All right, I don't give a leave, bro. I don't care. Like if you can't take jokes, then fucking leave, bro. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, let's watch this.
But look, Jake.
Also, this dude down here, I would love if anybody knows who this is, please tell me, because I want to DM him and get him on stream, because this guy is an absolute idiot, bro. Like one of the most bad faith people. Just listen to what he says. This is the Rittenhouse video, so he's a fucking retard.
Just have a different perspective. It is what it is. Like I'm not here to talk shit about Shane. You know, like we. And
can you hear it good?
I want to give him credit because we can have the conversation on air, this exact conversation, and he's gonna say the exact same thing. I'm gonna say.
I just can't let them get away with saying that Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. This man showed up with a gun with an intent to use it. Okay, and then when people tried to stop it, remember people always say, "Why did nobody stop that man? He was ready to be an active shooter." They'll be like, "Oh, it's not a crime to walk around and point your fucking gun at people." In the age of mass shooting, you guys,
bro.
In the age of, it doesn't matter the age if it's constitutionally protected. It doesn't matter.
But he didn't even point. Like that was a main point in the trial, is that he didn't point his gun at anybody until it was time to shoot.
Yeah,
that was like a main thing.
Well, yeah, he just said like, yeah, I agree. He didn't point anything, and like that's the whole thing where like, well, in this new age of what's going on, we have to strip our constitutional rights to protect people because they feel bad. Well, the cops still have it.
Yeah,
I mean, what?
True.
I'm not going to get into that. So,
he must be in love with Destiny. To be fair, Destiny has been saying from the jump that Rittenhouse was innocent. So. Destiny, I think, is one of the more. He has decent amount of common sense for a lefty, you know. He supports Joe Biden. He still thinks Joe Biden's doing a good job. So it's kind of hard for me to say that, but at least he says that Rittenhouse is innocent, and he pushes back on a lot of like the extreme trans shit. So, but yeah, let's watch this.
You guys are fucking crazy. You guys are talking out of both sides of your mouth. One time you want us to shoot the fucking mass shooter and be vigilantes. Somebody is a vigilante. You're like, that man had every right to be using it as a gun. Like, I don't understand. This
fucking idiot.
My mind, and I don't understand why people are like, oh yeah, this was a bang up job. Our very righteous, justice system found this white boy innocent, for murder. Fun fact. That's not unusual.
He killed other white people.
And
either way
that
the trial goes, a white person wins. So you could say that either way. It doesn't make sense.
He disarmed one, literally, and then he eliminated 2 PDF files. So
true.
I mean,
true.
we're hitting all, we're batting 300 here.
Yeah.
So.
And he also, he got hit in the back of the head with a skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck you supposed to do? You're kind of asking for it, really. If you see a dude walking around with a rifle and you hit him in the back of the head with a skateboard, like.
People forget too, like if you're carrying that weapon, right, you're responsible for that weapon. So if somebody hits you and knocks you out and that weapon now gets into the hands of someone who shouldn't have it, you're responsible for that. You're like, so it's a different type of self-defense in that sense anyway, because you have to then protect the firearm as well from other people, not just yourself. You have to protect the firearm from getting in the hands of someone that shouldn't be in. But see, that's above his IQ level to figure that out, because these are people that probably never touched a gun before. So
yeah, and also they don't give a shit about facts. They don't give a shit about what actually happened. They're just extreme bad faith actors.
They just want to play with guns online. Other than that, they don't ever want to. Reality is not real to them. So
yeah, Destiny is all right, not great, but he gets his line of reasoning. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Whenever I disagree with people, but I can also see how they came to the conclusion, that's when I'm like, all right, you're a cool person. Like. I can tolerate you. When it comes to people like this, where he's just disregarding every single fact that we have. Yeah, we literally have the entire thing on video. You just watch the video, you can clearly see it was self-defense. He's disregarding everything and just coming to the conclusion that he wants to be true instead of using facts and logic to come to the conclusion. That's what pisses me off.
And I don't care that the guy that he killed wasn't black. It's still part of a racist institution, and the fact that they
A
like that
racist.
Kyle Rittenhouse had gone there, to uphold the police and stand with the police in the face of those protests. But anyway, I have to put that in.
I'd laugh at his lisp the entire time he was on your fucking
like an
channel.
uncomfortable relationship with him. It's not going to lead to retaliation, and I really commend him for having an open mind. But to him, he just couldn't. He just disagrees about it being self-defense. He thinks like he didn't need to like shoot the gun. He didn't need to kill people. I hear you. I wish it didn't end that way. But if I were in his shoes, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. I probably would have prayed and sprayed. So I mean,
I can't believe that Anna Kasparian is saying that, dude. If you would know, were you watching the stream the other day when I showed that actual Justice Warrior video when he was talking about the state line stuff? He kept showing. All right, I'm gonna pull that up and play it again then, because that shit's hilarious. How many times Anna Kasparian was complaining about Kyle Rittenhouse crossing state lines, dude? I mean, it was like weekly. It was a weekly event. So I'm gonna pull that up.
Well, because wasn't that all not only debunked, but everything was that all came out, right? Like the state line thing didn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It's legal in the United States to cross state lines.
Yeah,
and he bought the gun in the state that he went to the riot. Like he bought it after he went.
Yeah, I don't think the weapon ever crossed state lines. Correct?
No,
I don't know.
It didn't.
I didn't think so.
No. So what? Oh yeah, actual Justice Warrior. Give me 1 second. Well, here, I'll play the rest of the video.
Rittenhouse did the right thing. Like, it's a good thing he was in control of the weapon instead of me. So,
Adam, you would not have shown up to a fucking protest to just kill people randomly. Adam, when was the last time?
I'm so glad it cuts off there, because I could just tell he was about to say some real stupid shit. Kill people randomly? He killed two people and injured one?
Two people, yeah, and then took one's bicep.
Yeah, so and they were all trying to attack him or steal his gun, or it wasn't just random.
I remember watching that trial, and when they had the guy who lost his bicep, I can't remember. Again, I'm horrible with names.
Grosskreutz?
Yeah, when they had him on trial, and they fucking demolished him. They basically made him admit that he pointed the gun at Kyle first, and then Kyle fucking took his arm. He didn't lift anyway, though, so it didn't matter.
Here. I thought this was funny. By the way, this guy is a really good YouTuber. If anybody I think he's a criminal justice major, and the guy's a good YouTuber, man. Like he does a lot of research. He's becoming one of my favorites. Not too partisan on things. He just kind of goes with the facts, and whatever the facts are, that's what he puts in his video.
Is it the guy on the right?
Yeah, actual Justice Warrior. His name is Sean. You'll see him. He kind of cuts in.
Was in possession of an illegal weapon, and that he crossed state lines with that illegal weapon.
No. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Okay, so that was a lie, and it's not a lie that I just made up in my mind, right? That was how it was reported initially, which is why I would mention the state lines.
Oh my God, what is that? I don't get what's going on.
But not because, how dare he cross state lines.
No, I don't know how I'm having this reaction.
Anyone in this country has the right to cross state lines. Because it was reported.
Just wait, dude. It's
good.
An
illegal gun, and he traveled across state lines with an illegal gun.
Oh my God, I feel something. I feel a montage. I feel a compilation appearing.
Wouldn't go out of his way to go to a protest, who crossed state lines. He drove from Illinois to Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, again, he drove from Illinois to Wisconsin. It's not like he was in his front yard.
The horror, driving from Illinois to Wisconsin. What an animal.
God
Savage.
Forbid.
And he was approached by a group of individuals who posed an imminent threat to his life. He drove across state lines in a state that he doesn't even live in, because obviously we're dealing with a 17-year-old from out of state, and then he crossed state lines with it. He crossed state lines, meaning he traveled across state lines. He traveled there from out of state, who again traveled across state lines. So he did not cross state lines with an illegal gun.
Now look, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, that was it. But yeah, it's a good video. Go check it out if y'all haven't seen it.
It just sucks knowing how much he had to watch through of all those videos to edit that together.
No.
Knowing about editing and stuff, you're like, oh, dude.
He covers them pretty closely, so I'm sure he just had to go back in his old videos to, to find it. But he even tweeted out before he released it. He was like, dude, this was the hardest I've ever worked to edit a video or something like that, and apparently it crashed a couple times. I was like, what could he have possibly been doing? Like, he doesn't usually make heavily edited stuff. And then I saw it. I was like, oh, that's what it was.
Pretty dumb, man.
Yeah.
Pretty dumb person. So.
I've crossed state lines a few times. You animal.
Yeah. Terrible. Crazy.
Yeah, let's see. What else do I got? I want to look more into this TYT stuff. I think it's pretty funny.
TYT.
The Young Turks.
Oh, okay.
If you could talk to the chat real quick while I pull up a video.
Yeah, Black Conservative React says I never got famous from it though. It's probably a good thing though. If you're getting famous for crossing state lines, I don't know. The last thing I ever want to be is famous. Dear God.
I'm good. Yeah.
It's just, it just sounds like a shit show.
That's why I'm glad that I don't put my face in my videos or anything, just in case. If my channel was to blow up big, I don't want anybody recognizing me, dude. Like, ever.
I mean, it would probably be really. I mean, I've seen videos. Like, I just watched one the other day where someone was making fun of. It was about Superman. They were like, Superman's costume or disguise is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. And it's like shows a video of Henry Cavill hanging out in Manhattan, just like standing there next to the big poster of him as Superman.
Yeah.
And nobody even noticed that it was him. And he was just so.
That's true. But like, if somebody were to notice me, there's a good chance that somebody who really hates me.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah. But then you'd be like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like, you just, I don't know.
If it gets to that point, I might not even get a chance. I might just get rocked.
Yeah, they'd probably hit you and run. So stay strapped.
True.
Stay strapped.
Let's see. Here's a good video.
No, Devil, you're right, man. Like I don't cover a lot of this stuff. Like the young, like TY, I don't know. I have no idea. And then the Joe Rogan RIP thing, I had no idea that was a thing. I'm out of the loop when it comes to that shit. I have no idea.
Y'all got to understand. Matt does movies and TV. I do more political, culture war stuff where I'm watching the Young Turks and stuff like that. So
yeah, if anything, the most I watch is like maybe Tim Pool every now and then, but that's really just to make fun. But
I think Tim Pool's been doing pretty well recently.
The
only thing that I do that if I was on Tim Pool's staff, I get so pissed because this man does not let anybody speak. Like,
I know
he cuts off poor Ian. He don't ever get to speak.
Oh, I know. That's why
I'm
kind of
glad
to talk.
I don't really want to hear what Ian has to say anyway. But
yeah,
it's funny because a lot of them LARP is like anti-capitalist, like revolutionaries. or whatever.
LARP, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's true, and so it's really funny because what they do is they are positioning themselves to attract a very specific niche in audiences, right? So they're going for the purists, the people who like to think of themselves as like far left, communist, socialist, whatever. Mm-hmm. But like the whole thing is, I mean, you can see it in the various streams. Like they'll talk about things through the lens of we're the most pure, like we're the most sincere in what we're saying, whatever.
The real left.
Like,
yeah,
exactly. We're the real left. So when they do that, what ends up happening is they become more and more extreme in what they are saying, right? In what they claim to believe. And at the heart of that, like what they're actually doing is trying to attract a niche audience for what? To make money. Like
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That's a big red pill that I think a lot of people they know on the left, but they're just too scared to say. Right?
I was gonna say, like, is that new to her? Like, is that something like
it's
that?
New that she'll admit it, and it's also big because I know that you're not, like well versed.
Yeah,
in the
Hassan's
Young Turks.
uncle is.
Yeah,
right?
he owns
like
the
related.
Young Turks.
Yeah,
and Hassan used to work for them, so it's pretty crazy that she would call out. I mean, I don't think she's like directly calling him out because there's some other people that do the same thing. But
it's funny because
well, he's the biggest one, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
I would say I knew exactly that they were talking. Like even before your little comment there, she's like, that's who I assumed. Like I can't really think of anyone else that she would be directing that kind of conversation piece about. So
yeah, Yeah, he gets, dude. I don't understand how people watch Hassan, man. I just don't.
Dude,
He's so boring.
lunatics.
Hold on. I actually got a Hassan video, and we don't have to watch the whole thing, but where he was responding to Anna, I'm just like, I'm struggling to watch this thing to make a video on, man.
Well, wasn't he on what's that other idiot YouTuber that everyone he
Bosch?
like no, not him. The other one, he's got his wife on there. He always gets in trouble. Ethan?
Oh yeah. H3H3.
Yeah, that clown. They were together. They used to do some podcast. Maybe they still do together.
I think they
don't
do.
know.
Yeah.
And that was fucking cringe. Oh my god. Holy.
Yeah.
I couldn't even watch like 10 minutes of it. I was like, these two are the worst people on the planet and same in one screen. Like,
yep. It's yeah. That dude is the worst of the worst. H3H3.
oh yeah. It's like the scum under a toilet bowl, you know? It's what
Yeah.
these fucking people are.
Did you I think you might have seen my tweet on it, but Anna Kasparian tweeted about the civil rights movement.
No.
All right, I'll pull that up then. Here.
Classroom for 3 hours.
Says the civil rights movement did not use the same strategies as the trans movement. They didn't barricade speakers they disagreed with in a classroom for 3 hours. They persuaded through nonviolence and showing America their humanity. And she deleted it. So she's tweeting some base things.
Yeah.
But here's what Hassan had to say.
They persuaded through nonviolence and showing America their humanity.
I'm gonna speed it up, bro. I can't. He talks too fucking slow.
Well, he's half brain dead, so
Because, like, this take is not all that different than what they have said in the past. If you like really listen to what TYT says all the time, like it's the classic, like, well, MLK was nonviolent, whereas Malcolm X was like not the best. Even though Cenk does concede and say that Cenk does concede, which by the way is ahistorical, but Cenk does concede and say that there's two sides to this coin, and that without Malcolm X, MLK doesn't work on his own. You know what I mean? So he does recognize that. It is pretty funny. I don't know who the fuck got barricaded for 3 hours. I don't even know what this is.
Isn't that crazy that they don't know? Like, do you know who they're talking about?
no, I have no idea.
They're
Or wait,
talking about, they're talking about Riley Gaines. The thing is, this man talks about like trans issues and stuff for a living. Like, this dude talks about politics for a living. How do you not know about Riley Gaines getting barricaded in a room?
Yeah, I saw that video when they were escorting her back and they were like fucking hitting her and swinging. And yeah. I remember she got stuck. I didn't know I thought it was longer than 3 hours, but
yeah, I don't know. The thing that I saw was 3 hours, but I mean, like,
still either way, like,
yeah,
that's fucking insane.
Even that is a mild example of things that the trans movement have done. Like, they had that shooting in the school with that trans person that had a manifesto of what school she was going to target, or I don't know.
That's all gone now. We don't talk.
Yeah,
that didn't happen. What are you talking about? Yeah,
but like, I don't even know what kind of person they're like. I don't even know if it was a man transitioning to a woman. I don't even know what it was.
It was a girl transitioning to a man.
Okay, so
my understanding, but
yeah, but that thing shot up a school and had a plan to go to others, and like was targeting certain people. So that's a mild example of how violent the trans movement is.
Well, as Devil's Joint just says too, the one that happened in Philly.
That was recent, right?
It was like last week or something. 5 dead, I think. 8 or 9 shot, 5 dead. You barely heard. The only way I heard about that was because I saw it on Twitter. I didn't see that.
Defending the person. They're saying that the person is a victim as much as the people who died. Like, come on. You think they would do that if it wasn't a trans person?
No. I mean, it's all the propaganda and it's all bullshit. So,
like, how can you try to say that the trans movement isn't a violent one when that's happening? Like, I just don't.
Because they know that mainstream media is not covering it, so they're just not going to talk about it.
And then you ask them about J6, like they'll defend certain acts of violence when it comes to trans rights or the civil rights or whatever, and then you talk about J6 and they shut down. It's like they think that that's literally the Holocaust.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the gotcha. You know,
yeah.
And then too the J6 stuff, they find out like there's tons of federal agents involved, which we all knew anyway, but now it's more open than ever.
Yeah,
that you had.
Yep. I saw Tucker said that he got fired right before he was about to expose all the feds.
Well, of course, because that destroys a narrative on a massive level.
What's up, Carlos? And shout out to all the other members in the chat. Thank you all for being members. I appreciate the support. All the support that we've been getting on this channel recently, man. It's letting us do some pretty cool things behind the scenes that y'all find out about real soon. We got some other cool creators and stuff come and join us. By the way, if anybody is a video editor out there, we need an editor. So yeah, send me a DM on Twitter or whatever. But yeah.
But the irony is that, like, yeah, all kinds of political movements that have worked against hierarchical constructs are always going to be considered violent because they're uprooting the pre-established norms, the pre-established rules of society. So ultimately, it doesn't matter, even if it's like literally baby politics. In the same way that shitting on trans people and the violence that comes along with that, or the normalization of the violence that comes along with that, is not seen as violent because it is the pre-existing construct. You can go out and dehumanize trans people. You can go out and like misgender trans people, and there's going to be debate around whether or not that is even hate speech to begin with. That in and of itself is a clear and obvious indication that as long as you are on board with the pre-existing hierarchical standards, then you're never going to be seen as quote unquote violent, right? So this is a historical.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Kyle Rittenhouse. Everybody said that he was violent. We just talked about him. I mean, he kind of was, like, he killed people, so he kind of was violent.
Well,
he's a conservative.
I would say, well, also too, it wasn't. He kind of got pushed into a corner. It's not like he came out.
But it's
like,
violence.
Yeah.
By definition. But what he's trying to say is, as long as you're, pretty much, basically what he's saying is, as long as you're a conservative, as long as you believe the world should stay as it is, then you can pretty much do whatever you want, and it's not considered violence. And as long as you want to progress, if you're a progressive and you push your ideas forward, then you are violent. That's not true at all.
No, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of non-violent things that have happened to push progress forward. I mean, if everything was solved with violence, I mean, I don't know. Again, he's not the smartest.
Yeah, there was like a moment towards the end here with you saw the bonus hole stuff, right?
I heard, I remember the phrase, but in the context of bonus hole, I don't know. I mean, I know what they're talking about, but who said it and when, I don't know.
Yeah, they talk about that right here.
Activists can sometimes be very fucking cringe. They can be empathetic, but then simultaneously be incredibly fucking cringe. Like turning that into a matter of national news instead of just going, fuck that, who gives a shit, move on. Well, then you're participating, whether willingly or unwillingly, in just
making sure that they're not denied healthcare. When you move into like these more fringe areas of like, I mean, there was a story out of the UK this week, blows my mind. There was an LGBTQ group in the UK who suggested that instead of referring to vaginas as vaginas because it might be offensive to transgender men.
Yeah, this kind of stuff I hate so much. Again, it's always like marginal shit. Like, who cares? Fucking cares.
And that's exactly what we were talking about when we say it always starts off as marginal shit. It always starts off as fringe shit, and then they normalize it slowly.
Yeah.
So you have to talk about every single one.
Yep, because again, it's called the slow drip, right? You can't just go after the main thing at the very front line of it. You have to go slowly, and you creep up and you creep up and you creep, and then before you know it, you're like, whoa, how did all this shit change? It's because it's slow change over time, and it's not as much of a shock to the normal people out there when you slowly see shit changed, and then you take a step back over time and go, wow, like a lot of stuff's different now. If you do it immediately, then yeah, there's gonna be a lot of pushback.
Yep. This Hassan lock is dogging that thing just for the stream. Animal abuse. Yeah, a lot of people, when I did a video on this, a lot of people were like, why the hell is there a dog in the top right? I was like, dude, it's an easy money farm, that's why.
Yeah, that is. I just noticed it too. That was very weird, but yeah, I guess that's where the dog cam comes from.
Yep.
The Inception reaction video.
Yeah.
It's a reaction within a reaction within a reaction.
Yeah. Well, did you have any other topics that you wanted to talk about?
No, that was the main thing. Like I said, this weekend I've been busy, but I made a very clear point to go see this film because I wanted to do a review, and I talked very highly of it. I've heard a lot of things about it and figured I gotta see it. I gotta see if it's actually because sometimes you hear there's a bunch of hype and stuff, and it's like maybe it's just hype. Maybe it's not as good. It is. It's as good as they're saying. It's worth seeing. I got to get my review done. Oh, I'll have that out hopefully tomorrow evening. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's worth it. It's worth the money. They deserve it, and I'm excited to see. Like I said, if Mel Gibson's doing another, documentary style, I think it's the more light to the subject is very important. So, and like I said,
gotta protect that dude because they're probably trying to get his ass right now.
I was gonna say, I mean, what's crazy, and this is how you know you hit a nerve with a lot of these people, is when you're talking about a subject and they're doing everything they can to silence you. Then you know that you've struck something, and you gotta keep pushing the envelope. So.
Yep. Shout out to everybody who's been in the chat. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you for the likes and all of that stuff. Matt's link is in the description if anybody wants to go check out his review whenever he does his in-depth review on Sound of Freedom. And I think I'll be posting a video probably right after the stream, and then I'll be back tomorrow with some more videos. So thank y'all for the support. I really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all soon.
See you guys.